Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the RapChat, and in this video, we're going to ask each other 3 pressing questions about the Raptors. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the RapChat. And before we start this video, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, remember to comment, and to subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, to the podcast that comes out every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you go to your podcast, please leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at the RapChat Official, where we post things all RapChat and Raptors related. We are your hosts, Luke Dick,
Elias Eldridge,
and Sam Kenny.
And let's get right into this video. All right, so going up first, asking the hot, pressing question, we have Elias.
Yes, me, boys. Fellas, Luke and Sam, who currently is your Toronto Raptors Defensive Player of the Year after 6 games?
Interesting question.
My defensive player for the Toronto Raptors is no doubt OG Anunoby. Bro, he has been
interesting take.
He has been dominant on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He is getting so many just rip away steals. He's always in the right spot on defense. You can always count on OG to be in the right spot.
Remember how before the season started, I said on the podcast that I was a little worried about how OG's going to fit into this role with Scotty stepping up.
Right.
I think he's kind of taking over more of a defensive oriented
bro.
Yeah. So far, whereas offense, he's just doing the corner 3 cutting guy, but defensively, he's like taking over.
On defense, I liken him to a hawk. Because he's speedy, right? But he's also like he's like, you know, guys.
Why don't you be a Hawks fan then, bud? Why don't you be a fucking Hawks fan, buddy?
Guys on offense, you know, guys on offense like hunt defenders, right? Yeah. I think OG hunts offensive players, right? He's picking them out. He wants to steal it from them, right? He's getting chased down blocks. He's rebounding well.
Oh man, the number one thing that when Tyrese Maxey scored that insanely ridiculous 44 points on us, the main thing we were saying is put OG on Tyrese, bro. That guy's the only man out there who can actually like guard him. Like we needed him out there. So I do agree with that. OG has been stellar on defense this season.
No complaints from me. Yeah.
All right. So I think mine, I'm going to have to probably go with the classic answer. I think Precious Achiuwa, man. But a guy who I think can actually make a really, really impressive defensive impact this year, I'm not saying defensive player of the year, is Christian Koloko. I really do think so, because we've seen him make, especially in the last like Hawks game and some of these other games, like especially when we're going to be playing younger teams. And I think that's really where he's going to shine, because he's going to be able to adapt a little bit more easily to teams where guys haven't been in the league for that long, you know? But being able to reach up and get those blocks, like he was making blocks that I haven't seen since Jonas Valanciunas. Like Jonas was more athletic than Marc Gasol. You know what I mean? He was like
he wasn't. I think Luke was definitely a better shot.
I'd say more like Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, that's true too. But I also think that Koloko is even more athletic than both Jonas Valanciunas and Marc Gasol, and his ability to be so versatile guarding out on the perimeter, and he's been
7 games in, mind you.
Yes,
so by
absolutely.
the end of the season, what you're saying is definitely like
it's very interesting, and the fact that what we've seen from him already has been so more impressive than we would have said he would be by this time. I think really just goes to speak like. He's keep your runner up. I'm not saying like in a spot up there, you know, like fighting for that third position, I'd say maybe as best defensive player.
Top 5 on the team.
Top 5,
sure.
yeah,
Honestly,
something like
a lot
that.
of good defenders with it.
Exactly. Like we pride ourselves on being a great defensive team, but I do honestly think that Christian can like really elevate his defensive skills. He's been so impressive already. Like it's been crazy.
Like literally 7 games into his career. So
yeah, absolutely. But
awesome.
But I do think as my main sort of guy, I think Precious, just because he's got the quickness, man. Like,
and his versatility is out of this world.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's insane. Like he's able to make some of those blocks.
And it's his strength plus versatility.
Yes,
right?
It's his strength.
He honestly might be the second most versatile defender in the league behind Giannis.
Yeah. All right. So my question is, how important will having only how?
Okay, got it.
Just how and only how important will a solidified bench be to our team this year, and how bad will we be if things stay the same as they are right now?
It's such a common theme. I feel like we're totally talking about this every episode, but it's so big that like we can't repeat last year when it comes to this whole bench situation. We need bench production, and I think like we have the tools to get bench production. I think I don't like to question Nick Nurse that much, but I just don't understand why you don't put that in. put Malachi in for more than 5 minutes. You know, like these guys are. It's not like they're hurting us by putting them in for 5 minutes, especially if you're playing them with the starters. Like we can't have a full bench lineup with the guys we have right now. We just can't. But like in spurts, right? You play 2 bench guys with 3 starters and just keep switching them all up. I really think it's really important that we start doing that now and not later.
Absolutely.
To make sure it becomes solidified, like you said, where everybody can feel comfortable in their roles. 'Cause I feel like it's also another thing is that like, as much as like sometimes it's impressive when like Malachi comes off the bench unexpectedly and has 9 points, I think he'd be better off being in a solidified role.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I 100% agree.
So I think it's really important we start doing that sooner rather than later. And I think if it continues like this, we're going to run into the same problems in the playoffs.
And might I say, to just build off of what you're talking about right now, I do believe that as of right now, if you want a backup point guard, Malachi over Delano. And that's just right now. Like, that's just, like, it's just, Malachi's got some years on him, so I'm not going to pressure Delano to, like, be as good, you know, because he still has a couple years younger than Malachi.
Malachi's better NBA player.
But yeah.
And, right now, he's better NBA
player.
player.
Absolutely. And I think that it's just, like, if you need a guy to come in and guide your second unit, like your second Fred VanVleet, I really don't see how Malachi shouldn't be that guy.
Yeah. And, like, I just, like, he's not Fred VanVleet, I'm not saying that, but, like, if Fred comes off the floor, you can put Malachi in and he can run the same kind of system.
Exactly, yes.
You know, it's not going to be as good, obviously, because Malachi Flynn, not for VanVleet, but, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel like that much of a loss, especially, like, it feels like long term it's more of a loss to not play him than to play him. You know?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So, wait, can I ask you, if things stay the absolute the same way are they now, how bad are we? What's our record by the end of the season? What seed are we?
I mean, I can see us having the same type of finish as last season, but I think we're going to run into the same problem as we did last year in the playoffs, where we're a big transition team also, and transition defense is transition offense is much less prevalent in the playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs,
absolutely,
how
for
much
sure.
more intense it is, and it's so much more of a beat up type games in the playoffs. Like we saw it last year in the playoffs, where guys was getting so tired at the end. And we didn't have an answer for us being tired because we didn't play any bench guys. So.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think not having a bench, I don't think it honestly does anything. Like I think playing our starters more makes us a better team. Obviously, because your starters playing more.
Short term.
But in the long run, your starters are going to get hurt or worn down, and that is the larger issue. Like no one's saying that these bench guys are like it's not a good bench whether you play them or not. Right? No, it's just not a very good bench.
It's a below average NBA bench.
No matter what. But it's even worse when you have a starter out and one of those guys becomes a starter, then that other bench guy comes in.
Yeah,
right?
and when we talk about how it can injure people, like we saw it with Fred. Like it's a legit thing. It's not like we're speculating these guys don't get injured. No, it happened.
And I think you're playing with fire with Pascal with how much he's playing. Like it's pretty crazy that he hasn't been hurt.
Right.
Okay, the third pressing question, and this is a great one to sum it up.
I'm feeling really pressed right now, so it's going pretty well.
Are the Raptors in the league's upper class of contenders?
I can't say yes.
I think we're the second. We're the tier just below that. I think that if we go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I could totally see that happening. I don't think that we have, again, like we kind of just talked about this, I do not think we have the depth in order to make it. And I don't think we have, at this point in where we are, I don't think we have enough creation. Like, I just don't think that there's enough guys creating for, enough guys who can actually fulfill the skill that we're trying to create, right? So Pascal, great creator for guys, but it's like, when Pascal draws the defense in and everyone gets in there and he passes out to Precious Achiuwa, I can't guarantee he's going to hit that three. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, go ahead.
I agree. I think for me, right now, the way I look at it is my number one tier in the East is Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. And then second tier is like your Miami. I'm still putting Brooklyn in there for right now. Cleveland, Toronto, Atlanta's iffy. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but yeah.
I think that's I think that's the right thing. I think the Raptors, everything breaks right, could be an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Yeah, but then
you're counting on a lot of stuff to break right.
Yeah, and then you're gonna end up facing one of those top tier teams, and like they're not, and that's okay. Like they're so young, right? And as much as I'm not gonna say I'm doubting them, but just like right now, this is not where they are, you know?
All right, everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in to 3 hot pressing questions straight off the grill for you. You can hear that grill absolutely barbecuing these questions for you, Raptors fans. Sheesh. Okay, now, anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in to the RapChat. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you listen to the RapChat podcast, comes out on every Monday. Please rate it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast, and also leave a review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the RapChat Official, where we post new clips and all things RapChat and Raptors related. We will see you guys next video or whatever. Peace out.
Bye.
Peace.